Have you ever gone to the market, bought the same things you always buy, bread, eggs, rice, a few vegetables, and come back feeling like you paid way more than you should have? And maybe you thought, did I lose track of prices? Did I go to the wrong shop? Am I just imagining things? You are not imagining things. Prices really are going up. Not just at your market, not just in your city, all over the world, for almost everything. And it has been happening for a very, very long time. There is a name for this. A name you have probably heard before, but maybe never had explained to you in a way that actually made sense. That name is inflation. And today, in the next few minutes, we are going to explain exactly what inflation is using the simplest words possible. No economics degree needed. No complicated charts. Just a clear, honest explanation of why your money keeps buying less and less over time. Let us start with a story. Imagine a small town. In this town, there is one sweet shop. The sweet shop sells one thing, a bag of sweets. Each bag costs 1 coin. Every person in town has exactly 10 coins. And today there are 10 bags of sweets in the shop. 10 people, 10 coins each, 10 bags of sweets. Everything is balanced. 1 coin buys 1 bag. Simple. Now one day, something changes. A kind and generous person comes to town and gives every single person 20 extra coins. Just like that. Everyone is richer, everyone is happy, but here is the problem. The sweet shop still only has 10 bags of sweets. The number of sweets did not change, but now everyone has more coins and everyone wants to buy the sweets. So what happens? The shopkeeper looks around. She sees everyone rushing in with more money than before. And she thinks, if everyone wants these 10 bags and they all have lots of money, why am I still charging 1 coin? So she raises the price. 1 bag now costs 3 coins, then 5, then more. The people have more coins than before, but the price went up even faster. So in the end, their coins do not actually buy more sweets than before. In some cases, they buy less. More money chasing the same amount of stuff makes prices go up. That is the simplest version of what inflation is. When there is too much money in the system, but not enough goods and services to match it, prices rise to fill the gap. The coins did not disappear, but what each coin could buy, what economists call its purchasing power, went down. That is inflation. Your money is worth less. Not because someone took it from you, but because everything costs more now. Okay, the sweet shop story explains the idea perfectly. But in real life, inflation is caused by a few different things. Let me walk you through the main ones, quickly and simply. Why prices really go up. Reason 1. Too much money is printed. Governments and central banks control how much money is in a country. When they print a lot of new money, more than the economy actually needs, there are suddenly more coins chasing the same amount of goods. Just like our sweet shop, prices go up. This has happened in many countries. When too much money is printed too quickly, inflation can get very bad very fast. In extreme cases, it is called hyperinflation, and it means prices can double in a single day. Bread that cost 1 unit in the morning costs 2 units by evening. Reason 2, things cost more to make. Sometimes prices go up not because of extra money, but because it costs more to make the things we buy. This is called cost-push inflation. Think about petrol. When the price of petrol goes up, it costs more for trucks to deliver food to the market. It costs more for farmers to run their machines. It costs more for factories to make things. And all of that extra cost gets passed on to you, the buyer, at the shop. So when petrol goes up, almost everything else eventually goes up too. Reason 3, everyone wants the same thing at the same time. Remember the sweet shop. When lots of people want the same thing and there is not enough of it, prices rise. This happens in the real world all the time. After a flood or a drought, food becomes scarce. When supply chains break down, like during a global crisis, goods become harder to find. When everyone is suddenly at home wanting the same delivery services or the same electronics, demand shoots up, supply cannot keep up, and prices climb. Reason 4, people expect prices to rise, so they do. Here is a strange but very real one. When people expect prices to go up, they start acting as if they already have. Workers ask for higher wages now because they know things will cost more soon. Businesses raise prices now to prepare. And because everyone acts as if inflation is coming, it actually arrives faster. Economists call this expectations spiral. The belief in inflation creates more inflation. Inflation is not caused by one single thing. It is usually several of these reasons happening at the same time, pushing and pulling at prices from different directions at once. Now here is something that surprises most people. A small amount of inflation is actually okay. In fact, most economists, the people who study money and economies for a living, say that a small, steady, predictable level of inflation is a sign that an economy is healthy and growing. Why? Because very small inflation encourages people to spend and invest now rather than wait. If you know that the same thing will cost slightly more next year, you are more likely to buy it today. And people buying things keeps businesses running and workers employed. Most countries aim for around 2% inflation per year. That is the sweet spot, just enough to keep the economy moving without eating into people's money too fast. The problem is when inflation goes too high, too fast. When prices rise 10, 20, 50% in a year, people's savings shrink. Their wages cannot keep up. The things they need become impossible to afford. Life becomes genuinely hard. And there is another danger too, deflation. That is when prices go down instead of up. It sounds nice, but it is actually dangerous. When prices keep falling, people stop spending. Why buy today when it will be cheaper tomorrow? And when people stop spending, businesses close, jobs disappear, and the whole economy slows down. A little inflation, healthy. Too much inflation, damaging. No inflation or falling prices, dangerous in its own way. It is a balance. And keeping that balance is one of the hardest jobs in any country. Okay, so we know what inflation is. We know why it happens. We know that some is okay and too much is not. But what does it actually mean for your life? Your money? Your future? Here is the honest truth. If your money is just sitting still in a mattress, in a zero-interest account, in a jar under your bed, inflation is quietly eating it. Not all at once, a little each year. But over 10 years, money that is not growing is actually worth less than it was when you started. This is why simply saving money is not enough on its own. You also need to grow it at a rate that at least keeps pace with inflation. Otherwise, inflation is slowly but surely making you poorer, even if you never spend a single extra coin. So, what can you do? The first thing is to understand it, which you now do. Understanding inflation is how you stop being surprised by rising prices and start making decisions that protect your money from them. The second thing is to put your money somewhere it can grow. Savings accounts with real interest, investments, or financial products that outpace inflation over time. The goal is not to get rich overnight. The goal is to make sure your money tomorrow is worth at least as much as it is today. And the third thing, perhaps the most important, is to never confuse having more money with being wealthier. If you got a 10% raise but inflation went up 15% that year, you actually got poorer. More coins, but less buying power. Real wealth is not how many coins you have. It is how much those coins can actually buy. So let us bring it all together. Inflation is not a mystery. It is not something only economists understand. It is simply what happens when prices go up over time, because there is too much money chasing too few things, because things cost more to make, or because everyone expects prices to rise and starts acting that way. A little inflation is normal and even healthy. Too much is damaging. And money that just sits still quietly loses value every single year. The sweet shop story is the whole thing, really. More coins, same sweets, prices go up. Your job is to make sure your coins grow fast enough to keep pace with the sweets. That is it. That is inflation. Explained simply. No economics degree required. If this video helped you understand something you have always wondered about, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more simple, honest explanations of the money topics that affect all of us every single day. I will see you in the next one.